Hey guys, welcome to the Touchdown Table. I'm Ryan. That's Tyler. That's Jordan. And we are down to the Final Four. None of our teams are in that Final Four. Looks like for a second that my team could be in there, but you don't want to hear me rant about that. It's time to preview the AFC and NFC Championship games. We got two interesting matchups. The AFC one is first on Sunday, so let's start with that one. Anyone take it away?
Well, I'll just say the basics of the matchup. You said the AFC Championship game. This game will be featuring the Tennessee Titans at the Chiefs. So this should be a pretty good game. The Titans have made a huge run, the underdog run, kind of taking the role of what the Eagles were when they won a Super Bowl. So you could compare the team kind of to them a little bit.
Even though, didn't the Eagles have a bye that year, though?
They did,
yeah. They did. They were the ones, but still, everyone counted them out.
Yep.
So, I mean, it has not been easy for the Titans. They played the reigning Super Bowl champions, the team that has played in the playoffs so many times, and Tom Brady, the such veterans to the playoffs. They went into their stadium, beat the Patriots in Gillette Stadium, and then went to why am I blanking?
Weren't you watching the game?
They went to. You can do it. I'm trying to think of the stadium name, but I can't do it.
Just say
M&T Bank Stadium to play the Baltimore Ravens, who were easily the hottest team in the NFL.
I think they were second, not going to lie.
What, second hottest? Well,
the Titans were the second, I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Well, they were easily the hottest team in the NFL. They were 14-2 to end the season, and every team was afraid to play them. They were playing great. They went into their stadium and beat them. Now they got a test against these Chiefs. Once again, not at home. They're at the Chiefs. So the Titans have made a huge run thus far. And they can make it just to the Super Bowl. That'd be a huge feat. But
it'd also be a meme.
It also would be a meme. But it's not going to be easy.
Especially for you.
So I'm sure we'll get into more detail. But I just figured I'd talk about the run of the Tennessee Titans. They have done pretty well so far. Although, honestly, I'm not rooting for them to win this game. But that's just my opinion. And I'm not going to let that play into analysis. So
that's probably the right thing to do. No bias, as we saw with the Bears a lot earlier in the regular season. But you look at these two teams, and actually you can look at the records: 9-7 versus 12-4 for Kansas City. 9-7 is the Titans, and you think, okay, well, obviously the 12-4 team is probably going to win because of their record. But you look at their stats during the year; they're actually pretty close. 25.1 points per game for the Titans, compared to 28.2 for the Chiefs. 362.8 yards per game for the Titans and 379.2 yards per game. And then the last one I'm going to state, 20.7 opponent points per game, according to 19.3 for the Chiefs, which is actually pretty good. But Jordan said as well, the Titans going up against a very good team in the Chiefs. And we saw, I know you saw Texas.
I did. It was
what happened in that last game and how explosive that team is.
Mm-hmm. And we talked a lot about both of these teams so far early in this video, but we got to highlight for the Titans really the reason why they are here. The one-man wrecking crew, Derrick Henry. He's been doing it all for them. It started late in the year, especially now in this playoff run. He's just absolutely dominating. And the Chiefs defense throughout the points of the year they have struggled against the run. But probably for this game they will be getting Chris Jones back to that defensive line, so that's a huge, huge addition for them as they're going to try and stop Derrick Henry. But really, the Chiefs, I mean, believe me, they could score quickly. They just have so many weapons. You think you have them contained, but then, you just got Kelsey, Hardman, Hill, all these guys, the running back committee. They have guys that can make plays. Sure, you stop one, but then the other's wide open. And I don't know if it's just the Texans, but they're very hard to tackle. I said it before the playoffs started that Kansas City was the most dangerous team in the AFC playoff picture, and I think they've proven me right.
Mm-hmm. And you talk about that Texans game, and there was a point where Travis Kelsey was just doing it all by himself, really. He picked up like 80 yards, 3 touchdowns in the second quarter. So he did a very tremendous job. Just shout out to Travis Kelsey. I've always liked him. But talking about this Chiefs offense, it's not just Travis Kelsey. It's not even close to just being Travis Kelsey. There are so many good weapons on this Chiefs offense. You can go to the quarterback position and Patrick Mahomes, the MVP of last year, a great quarterback. Many say the most rounded quarterback in the NFL currently. I think I could probably say that as well. Yeah. And then running backs, okay, maybe they don't have the best running backs, but you go to the wide receiver position, they have Tyreek Hill, the speed demon, they have Mecole Hardman, who you talked about, and they got Sammy Watkins in there as well. If I'm missing anyone, tell me, but they have so many
There's
weapons
still
on
a lot
this
of
Chiefs
players on the
offense.
team.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm saying like the main people, but there's so many weapons for this Chiefs offense that just these got to be mentioned because they're dangerous.
Mm-hmm. They are, and with this Chiefs team, you look at them and they're feeling good because now they know that they're never out of a game. It doesn't matter how it starts. But again, the Titans are also feeling really good because, they're the 6th seed. They clinch a playoff spot on the last day of the season. No one thinks they could beat the Patriots. They do that. No one thinks they could beat the Ravens. They do that. So 2 teams that are really riding high. So something's got to give in this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we haven't really talked about the Chiefs' defense as much as we should. Towards the end stretch of the season, they've been one of the best defenses in the league, and it's really not something you would expect to see, especially coming into the season. But like I said earlier, less than 20 points per game. But now you're going up against possibly what we can say now is the best running back in the league. You could argue because of what he's been able to do.
Easily argue. The stats prove it.
Yeah, the stats are proving it. And Derrick Henry, who I'm talking about, has just been annihilating teams. I mean, you literally saw him. Who was it? It was Earl Thomas, right? It was Earl Thomas and he had made a lead blocker for him. That's how aggressive and that's how big of a guy he is. And no one wants to tackle him. It's going to be a tough task for this Chiefs team to do it. And like you said, this entire Titans team, that goes all the way up to the head coach as well, for the Vrabel. They all know they can do it. They just beat some of the 2 best teams in the AFC, and now have to go play another really tough opponent. It's going to be fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned the head coach for the Tennessee Titans. I just want to take a shout out to Andy Reid, who my dad, who is sitting right there, actually mentioned how he had not won a Super Bowl as a head coach, and he's had so many people that he had taught and are now coaches in the NFL or
Vrabel's
getting close to jobs. I think Vrabel was from. He played for Belichick.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I know that.
He didn't win as a coach.
Yeah. But Andy Reid, he's very well deserving of a Super Bowl, which obviously this is not the Super Bowl, but let's get to the Super Bowl. So just a shout out to him. But then another point that I wanted to make is we talked about Derrick Henry, but there are other players on the Tennessee Titans offense. You have Ryan Tannehill. There are.
Ryan Tannehill, I'm making this point. I think he had like 70 yards and 80 yards in the last 2 games. Still a big part of this offense, but he hasn't been needed because of how good Derrick Henry's been doing.
Mm-hmm. And something interesting to see, if the 49ers ended up winning their game, which we'll talk about in a different video, and the Titans ended up winning their game, these are 2 teams that rely heavily on the run. So that would be a very interesting Super Bowl to see.
That's how it goes in these later months of the season.
Yeah.
Yep. You got a ground and pound. So Derrick Henry, we can't stress enough how good he is. But Ryan Tannehill, he's been playing some good football. Maybe hasn't got the most yardage in the past games. He scored 3 touchdowns last game, leading the team downfield, doing it enough. A.J. Brown's playing pretty good. There is a tight end, Johnny Smith.
There you go.
He made a great catch against the Ravens. I believe it was their first touchdown. That kind of started off. He's been playing pretty well. So there are some playmakers. I already said it, but I'm going to say it again. A.J. Brown, he's a very fast guy. He is one of the candidates for Offensive Rookie of the Year this year. So, yes, Derrick Henry is the main force on that offense, but who knows? The thing is obvious. The Chiefs know that Derrick Henry is really, really good. So will they stack the box? Most likely they will at some point, or probably right away. So what does that mean? That means that other people might have to step up. And who knows? Maybe they could stack the box and Derrick Henry will still truck them all over and get 5,000 yards. But these playmakers are going to have to step up eventually. Can't just be Derrick Henry throughout the rest of this thing if I think that they're going to try to win the Super Bowl. So they have the guys there, and they should step up. We'll see. It should be a fun game.
I actually disagree with you on what you just said. That it doesn't just have to be Derrick Henry. I know you want to get other players involved, but I mean, you look at what he's been able to do.
No, I said maybe they won't need him. But
how about you give your point, then I'll break the tie.
Okay.
Well, I'm not saying it's not important for these other players, but these last 2 games they've beaten 2 really good teams with Derrick Henry, and that basically being the majority of the offense that they had. It seems like all they need right now is Derrick Henry, and no one can stop it. You said maybe the Chiefs will stack the box. The Ravens knew what was going to come at them with Derrick Henry, and they still weren't able to stop him, but they put up like 180 yards against him again. Knowing how good he is, they tried to do everything they could to stop him, and they just couldn't.
Well, I will say this. I mean, you both have some good points, but I think that about what you said about the Chiefs stacking the box, I think the Chiefs are going to try and get the Titans off their game plan early. Force Ryan Tannehill, who's practically, I mean, he's been a factor. Don't get me wrong, but he really hasn't. Is his arm even warmed up? Like what was it, 70 yards in the most recent Baltimore game? It's not his fault. That's the way their team has been winning football games. But I think the Chiefs' game plan has to be get the Titans away from running the football. Make them have to. Well, the Chiefs got to do it right. Chiefs got to do it right.
That's the thing. The game plan is somewhat obvious at this point because you know that all their offense is in the one guy so far, at least in the playoffs. So you stop him. Yeah. You put it on the other players. This is kind of a different comparison to my team, the Bears. But sometimes teams playing the Bears would say, okay, let's put it on Trubisky. Let's make him make the plays. Well, that's kind of what they should be doing with Ryan Tannehill. They should be saying, all right, let's make Ryan Tannehill make the plays. Let's make the other offensive playmakers do stuff, and let's just stop Derrick Henry because if we don't stop him, he's about to run all over us, and we're about to look foolish.
Yeah, and Ryan Tannehill's made plays too. We're not taking anything away from him. We're just saying that the offense has been built off of Derrick Henry in the playoffs right now, and that's their game plan. We'll see if they do have to pass it. I think Ryan Tannehill is definitely capable of it. But what we haven't really talked much about is the Titans' defense as of yet. And that's just one more point I want to hit on.
I don't think I can name you a player on the defense.
Before we make the pick. And that's fine. But, I mean, you look at their defense and they stopped the Patriots' offense, who I know their wide receivers struggling. You can say what you want about it. Try and think of a former Patriot who got a pick six.
Yeah, is Malcolm Butler? I don't know if he's
like
playing,
hurt.
Though. Yeah. I knew that. But I just didn't know.
And the most impressive thing is they were really the first team to find a way to stop Lamar Jackson.
Exactly.
For the entire season, no one was able to do it, and they did it really well. I know Jackson passed. I think he dropped back to pass 59 times. Actually, I think he threw it 59 times, which cannot happen, especially for a guy that has those skills and can run. And they didn't really get the running backs involved. I know Mark Ingram was hurt, but Gus Edwards was doing all right. You got to try and get him a little bit more involved in the game.
Mm-hmm. And that is a credit to the Titans' defense. But I personally think that this is kind of going off in this game a little bit, going back to the Ravens game with them. But I think it was partially on Lamar Jackson. Well, first of all, I'd like to mention, Tyler made this point to me the other day, that the Ravens team hadn't played in 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So
3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah. I'm sorry about that.
Well, their starters haven't played.
Yeah, the starters hadn't played in 3 weeks. So that's just being really rusty. I'm sure they've been practicing.
If they won, no one would talk about it, but since they lost, that's heads up we got to talk about.
It's true. I mean, they hadn't played. And Lamar was they were just building up momentum with this great team, and then they got out there, and Lamar did not look like Lamar. He wasn't trying to run as much. He looked kind of afraid when teams were putting pressure on him. And usually he'd be running out of the pocket so smoothly, dodging some people out, and sure, he put on a bit of a show at some points in the game, but he wasn't his usual MVP Lamar in that game, in my opinion. So that is part of it, but you got to give credit to the Titans' defense. They had to know something. Maybe they tried to contain him in the pocket or whatever. So Patrick Mahomes is different than Lamar Jackson, but he can still run.
Let us know if you ever think of a player on the Titans defense. Also.
Yeah, we got a few more minutes. But one thing I do
Casey Hayward?
One thing I do want to add.
No.
I kind of hope you don't. Hey, no, come on, don't cheat. That's cheat.
You can think of
I know
one.
A couple.
I know 3 of the top of my head.
No, think of it.
What's my name?
Ryan.
Okay, that's one of the guys last name. Come on. All right, but anyhow, I think Jordan, you made a lot of good points. You don't know their names, but you do know that they do have a great way to game plan for these great quarterbacks that they're playing. They play the GOAT, they win. They play the MVP, they win. Now they're playing last year's MVP, and we'll see if they can pull it off again. But they knew that if you stop Lamar Jackson, you stop the Baltimore Ravens. If you take Lamar Jackson away from the Baltimore Ravens, that team's not a playoff team, and I don't think they're even really close. But this is a video about the Titans and the Chiefs, so I will say just the Titans defense. It's yes, Patrick Mahomes. He did all that last week, 74 touchdown passes. I don't know what it was.
41 answered. That's going to be tough for this Titans defense to stop.
Exactly, but think about it. We thought, there's no way they're stopping the GOAT. Oh, there's no way they're stopping the MVP. They're 2 for 2 on that. So, I think we have to take that into account when we look at this game, because I think it's going to be close, especially with these two teams.
And the converse of that, maybe the Titans have too much confidence. And sometimes you don't even have.
Everyone still doubted them. I know, they got the bye, but everyone was talking about the Ravens and all that.
Well, there are a lot of
They
people
never really
saying
got-
that the Chiefs were
and Mahomes, of course, with Lamar Jackson.
Everyone
was talking about
I
I
Jackson.
think
not
I think some
Mahomes.
people were. I kind of disagree with that. I think people were kind of high on the Chiefs. A lot of people thought that they were. They
There were
playing the
extremes
best
on both
football.
sides.
Well, I mean, they're
There
definitely.
were
They're
extremes on
definitely.
both sides.
Everyone knows the Chiefs are good, but they were like overrun by
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And all that other stuff going on in the AFC.
The point that I was trying to make is the Titans. They just beat two really good teams, and that's very much credit to them. But they cannot let that get to them. They have to act like none of that ever happened. They have to get all that out of their head. You have to get all the good stuff and the bad stuff out of your head. Just play the next play, I guess you could say, or play the next game in this case. So you have to have confidence, because as a football player, you do really have to have confidence in yourself. But hopefully, they don't have too much confidence thinking that they're extremely good, that are going to tear through teams. I don't think that's what's going to happen because of the good coaching, and I think that's just usually not what happens in the NFL. You usually aren't going to be in that scenario, but that's something that just need to be careful of.
Okay, let's without further ado, let's get to the picks, Jordan.
Mm-hmm. Are we giving scores or no?
No scores. Just going on the Instagram again, Ryan, by the way.
All right.
At the touchdown table.
At the touchdown table, I'm sure the scores will be on there. I'm picking the Chiefs to win this game. I think that the Titans, they've had a good run. It's going to be a close game. The Chiefs' offense is just going to play very, very well again. So the Chiefs will reign victorious in Arrowhead and take a trip to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, back in the summer I said the Chiefs are going to win the AFC, and here in January I'm saying the Chiefs are going to win the AFC. Kansas City is going to the Super Bowl, finally. It's been like 47 years since they've won one. Or no, 47, 40, was it 48, do you think?
48, I think.
They won
I don't
two?
No,
Was it 2 or 4? It's been a while.
Yeah.
And by the way, just a quick side note, Ryan is the only team or person from...
I'm a team?
He's the only one of the three with his Super Bowl prediction at the beginning of the season, with one of those teams still actually available to be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I got to flex, because if Kansas City wins this, that'll be 4 years in a row where my preseason pick to win the AFC actually wins the AFC. Granted, the previous year with the Patriots, but still, I got to flex on you guys.
Okay, well, congratulations for that.
Yeah.
This is tough for me because last time I picked the Titans, they were on their win streak, and I picked them to win against the Texans in that game where the Texans actually won, and I felt confident in this team. Now I'm in that same situation. I feel so confident with this Titans team that I almost want to pick them, but I'm not going to. Titans fan, you should be glad that I'm not. Titans fan, you should be glad that I'm not picking them, because that would screw you guys over. Because the last time I picked them in the midst of all their winning, they lost. But I think it's going to be a really competitive game. The Titans are going to get everything they have, but the Chiefs are going to make it to the Super Bowl, and that's going to be fun to watch. If it happens, ittle be fun either way to watch. Even
this
if
is what Tyler has to say to him, not to him, when asked if he's going to pick the Titans to win.
Oh my god.
So quit asking.
There you go.
We made that joke over here if you were listening.
Saban not in the national championship
talking.
game, which is what's going to be going on tonight as we make this video. So you guys already know the results as this video comes out.
You already know.
But thank you guys for watching this video.
You just put that on record now.
Yeah. We already had it on record.
Well, yeah, but
make sure to like,
statement.
subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell, and we'll see you guys later.
See ya.